Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Monday, July 30th, 2012. We have the power back on here at NYNJPA Weather. As some of you may know, we're actually based in Freehold. So I wanted to start off first with the thunderstorm that just pummeled central New Jersey and specifically Freehold, New Jersey on Saturday night. This is let's say, the archive data from Saturday night. And our thunderstorm originally developed over central and east central Pennsylvania in the form of a strong thunderstorm. Now, as this thunderstorm moved east, it ran into what's called a mesoscale boundary. You see how the winds are coming from the northeast here and they're coming from the northwest here. And that convergence led to an enhancement of the thunderstorm. And as many of you remember, on Saturday evening, it was very humid out. There was plenty of moisture in the atmosphere. So you're lifting all that moisture into the higher portions of the atmosphere where it's much colder. And you end up with a very strong, very severe thunderstorm. Now, when we take a look at the actual thunderstorm on Saturday night when it started to move through Freehold, first thing I want to make very clear, there was no sign of a tornado with this thunderstorm. There was a sign of what's called a mesoscale low pressure system. And what that basically produced was very strong lifting ahead of the thunderstorm and sinking air behind the thunderstorm. And what that leads to is very strong wind gusts, which is basically what pummeled much of Freehold and caused trees to be knocked down, power lines to go down, just a complete disaster area over Freehold, New Jersey. And basically think of the air kind of like a hammer that slammed to the surface and it expanded outward. And that pretty much would cause much of the damage on Saturday night over much of Freehold, portions of Eatontown. It was just a very nasty night on Saturday night. And this thunderstorm wasn't the only thunderstorm that caused problems. On Saturday afternoon, we also had a thunderstorm that pretty much lingered over much of Long Island for much of the day, producing as much as 5 inches of rain over the region. So it was a very stormy day on Saturday, that is for sure. But what about today? Well, the good news is that we're starting off much better than we have the past few days, with temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 60s over the interior and upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast. We still have plenty of humidity in the atmosphere, with dew points in the mid 60s to lower 70s, supporting some areas of fog and overall variable cloud cover. Now, I don't expect much in the way of severe weather for today, and let me show you why. Here we have the water vapor satellite picture. We have a high pressure system over the eastern Great Lakes, and this high pressure system is going to suppress much of the disturbances that are moving through the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. So clearly we have plenty of moisture lingering over the northern Mid-Atlantic, and that is going to keep the threat for an isolated shower or even a weak isolated thunderstorm in the forecast for this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. But most locations will be dry because they'll be under the influence of this high pressure system. Also, because the high pressure system is located where it's at, we're also going to see the potential for an easterly wind or easterly component coming off the Atlantic that's going to transport a more stable marine air mass into the forecast. So yes, there's going to be more cloud cover, but we're also going to have temperatures more in line in the upper 70s to mid 80s for highs. And the threat for a severe thunderstorm is extremely low because the atmosphere is very stable. So again, half a dozen of the other. Yes, there will be clouds. Yes, there will be a threat for a shower, but at least we won't be dealing with severe thunderstorms today or tomorrow. When the winds start to shift to the southwest by Wednesday afternoon, then we're going to have to deal with a better potential for severe thunderstorms as this low pressure system approaches from the west and brings us with the threat for a thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening hours. Taking a look at the latest radar, this is the current radar, and you can see there's a few isolated showers here and there, but nothing widespread, nothing significant, nothing strong. Most of the radar echoes that we are seeing over New Jersey are due to fog and disturbances in that fog and low clouds. No precipitation is being reported. I'm going to take a look at the latest model guidance. Now, this is the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for model data. And as you can see for this evening, we're going to have a trough kind of linger over the eastern United States. Now, this is a bit of a pattern change to what we've been dealing with, but this trough is pretty much going to linger on through much of the week. Now, again, we have high pressure that's going to be shifting from the eastern Great Lakes to the New England coast, and that's going to give us an easterly wind for today and for tomorrow as that high pressure system continues to shift further off the coast. Our trough remains over the eastern United States, keeping us into the threat for an isolated shower or two for tomorrow afternoon. Now, by Wednesday afternoon and evening, we're going to see more of a southwesterly flow at the surface. It's going to transport warmer air into the region and also more humid air. So, today and tomorrow, we're going to be dealing with temperatures in the lower to mid 80s, a few upper 70s along the immediate coast, and humidity basically around in the mid to upper 60s in dew point. So yes, it will be humid, but it won't be as hot. From Wednesday on through this weekend, we're going to have more of a southwesterly flow in place at the lower levels of the atmosphere, from basically the surface up to about 850 millibars. You can see that right here with 850 millibar winds coming from the southwest. And that's going to mean our temperatures are going to rebound into the mid 80s to lower 90s, of course, cooler locations along the coast, with high levels of humidity. And with a trough lingering over the eastern United States and over the Great Lakes, that's going to keep the threat for disturbances to move through the region, producing an isolated to widely scattered shower or thunderstorm each afternoon. And those thunderstorms will once again have the potential to be rather severe, so we're going to have to keep our guard up for Wednesday afternoon on through this weekend. Yes, it's pretty much a rinse and repeat type of pattern once again over the northern mid-Atlantic. And that's going to continue on through next week with basically the same type of upper level pattern. Troughs lingering around the eastern Great Lakes in the northeast. A southwesterly flow in place from the surface up to 850 millibars, driving hot air into the northern mid-Atlantic. So if you're looking for an end to the hazy, hot, and humid weather pattern with stormy conditions, well, it's not going to be there just yet, but we are slowly evolving to a pattern where we're going to see a ridge in the west and a trough in the east. I give it another 4 weeks until we actually see the full onslaught and effects of a trough in the east, bringing cooler temperatures to the northern mid-Atlantic. So we're on track for the around September, which is pretty much what my forecast has been for all my premium clients. I've been putting out long-range forecasts for. Look for a change in September to cooler conditions. So that is your forecast for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen D. Martino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.